agree to the recording. Welcome, everyone. I said that before. My name is Muriel. I'm the Administrative Director for CPT, and I'm here to welcome all of you to this conversation, and in particular, our team representative from the team in Hebron, who have agreed to give us an update, a direct update. It's quite late for them. It's 9 p.m. So we're very grateful for their willingness to be here today and to engage in this conversation with us. We'll have an hour. We're going to first hear from the team, and they're going to provide some updates on what is happening on the ground and in the work with CPT. And then we're going to have a moment of Q&A for you to be able to ask questions. You can either raise your hand if you want to do that. In the reaction button, you can raise your hand and speak directly, or you can write questions in the chat, and we will read them as they come in. After that, we'll have 10 minutes where we're going to suggest some actions that you can take. And we're going to share that with you. So that's going to be Amy, who has been the leader of the last delegation going to Hebron in October. And she's also agreed to be on this call and help us with this conversation. And once we have done that, we'll conclude and see if there is a last question before we close the call. If any of the questions that you have are not answered during this time, don't feel free to email us, and we'll put this email in the chat several times. The general email for CPT, and we can send that to our team and make sure to make sure that your questions are relayed and answered as they come in. So I will now invite Ahmad and Shahad to share with us some updates about the situation in Hebron.
So, hi everyone, this is Shahd. First, I'm so happy to see some names that I know from they are here today. And I'm so happy to meet people that they are interesting to know what we do now during this situation, and they are interesting to see the updates from Palestine. First, I would like to introduce myself. This is Shahd. I'm 24 years old. I'm working with CPT since almost 3 years, and I will give the mic for my teammate Ahmad to introduce himself.
Thank you, Mariel, for the introduction, and also happy to see some of the lovely faces that we used to see in the office. Sending love. Also, your presence here give us a good message and powerful message that we are not alone and we are not left. So thank you for being present here. Thank you for being willing to listen to us and to the updates and to willing to take action for Palestinians. My name is Ahmad. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I have been working with CPT for approximately 3 years, more than 3 years. And I will give the mic to Shahd.
Thank you. So Ahmed and I, we will update you about what's going on in West Bank and especially Hebron, because it's the area that CPT Palestine covered. And I know that every one of you, and I believe that you are saw and watch on daily basis what's going on in Gaza, and you saw the crimes that the Israeli occupation carried out for the civilian people and the Gaza people, and the numbers of deaths and the numbers of people they lose their lives, dreams, and they left everything because of this occupation and because of this crime. And I know there is less like news that cover what's going on in West Bank, and like to feel like it's less like violence than Gaza, which is, yes, it's less violence. There is no bombing and there is no thousands of people. They are like murdered every second. But still the occupation, they are doing a lot of things, a lot of violence things against like cities in West Bank. I would like to start with like the movement restriction that's the occupation doing since like 7th of October. Sorry. Like 7th of October for the cities and villages of West Bank. So there is closure for the entrance of the cities and villages. So you cannot go to the village and you cannot go to the city. So people, they cannot go to their works, and most of the entrance, they are closed. And there is some entrance, it's open sometime. But when the Israeli occupation, they like decide whenever they want to close this entrance, they will not let anyone to enter to the city or to the village. So people, they cannot go to their works, especially people who like transfer the goods. So this is for the restriction movement. And for the like storms and breaking into the villages and the cities, there is in every night there is storm and breaking into villages, and they arrest and detain dozens of men and women because they are like participate in some demonstration, or they are sharing something in Facebook or Instagram, or sharing their thoughts. So they detain and arrest them. And just to let you know, most of the detention, or the like bigger number of detention, will be Thursdays. Why it will be Thursdays? Because Friday and Saturday usually it's holidays. So families, they cannot know anything or any information for their relatives that they detain them or arrest them until Sunday. And the situation for these people who detain, it's very horrible. They are under assaulting and humiliation from the Israeli soldier, and they are like filming them during they are beating them, and they ask them to say something against Palestine and against resistant people, and to say something good for Israel, and they ask them to hold the flag of the Israeli flag, and they are fund them, and they are share them their stories on TikTok and Instagram, and like everyone, they see this, and they know, like people sometimes they don't know anything about their relatives, and they know what's going on from the TikTok or from the video that they film it, which is really hard, and make them feel more worried for their like relatives. And okay, do you want to add something?
Yes, just I want to add something in related to restrictions of movement. Just before 2 hours ago, I was walking toward my home, and I met one of the people that I know. He's working in Ramallah, and he owns shop, a furniture shop. He's selling selling goods in Ramallah, and he go back and forth every day. So he live in Hebron, Ramallah in the north. And when I met him, he was kind of upset. And when I get to know more, he said it's not worth to put my life into a dangerous, because if he won't go through the highways and went to Ramallah, he might get at the threat of being attacked by settlers or soldiers.
Yeah.
So he decided to close his shop and not open it for approximately 1 month more or 2 months more, just to save his life, because if he got detained or something, who's gonna support his family? So his shop entirely closed, and not to think about trends, all of the costs that he have to think about, and just minimize the cost that he might be able to do during the time of the war, so he can manage to stay alive and still keep taking care of his family. Another person, the restriction is very, especially at the beginning of the war, approximately from the first day until 2 weeks later, it was very, very, very restricted. Now people are moving between the cities, but it less, and when it's necessarily. So if you have something necessarily very urgent, you go. Other than that, you don't go. And if you are familiar, I don't know how much you are familiar with the West Bank, but West Bank, it's there is a cities in different areas. And when the occupation is doing, they put settlements everywhere. And they create the highways to connect the settlements. So all of the highways that connect the cities between each other, we have to be close to the settlers or close to the military outpost or whatever. So every time that you are close to the entrance of the city or to the village or going to another city, you are putting your life into a risk of being detained or killed or arrested. Just today in the morning, we have heard that a bunch of soldiers, they came at the beginning of our city in Ras Al Jawra, and they shoot 2 people on their car. One of them is in the hospital, and I heard some news that he passed away, he killed, and the another one, he's now arrested by the Israeli soldiers, even that he's got shot. Just before a couple of minutes before our meeting started, we know that one of our partner, his son, he was disappeared for 1 day, and he did a post on social media that he's saying that Mahmoud, his son, that was disappeared for 1 day, and they are really concerned about him, and they don't know any information about him. And just before a couple of minutes ago, we just know that he knows his son was at the detention in Giryat Arba settlements by Israeli occupation forces. So that's in relation to restrictions of movements. Also, we have to add something, especially in the H2 area, different areas in the closed areas that they have to pass checkpoints in order to go to shop or to see family members or whatever. They have very restricted order. They can leave their houses once, 3 times per week. One day they will leave, and then the day after they cannot leave, and the day after they can leave, and they have a specific time. So every area, for example, Salaima area, which is close to the Ibrahimi Mosque, they have an order. So the people, if they want to buy stuff or something, they have to leave at 7:30 from their homes, going through the checkpoints until 8, and then they cannot come back until 7 o'clock. So the checkpoints will open, and for half hour, they are able to go and to reach their home. Other than this, they were not allowed. And if they are around the checkpoint, they might be arrested, they might be detained, they might be beaten. All of the scenarios. So even the smallest thing the people do that the right is just to go to shop and just to have at least necessarily. Can you think about, like, we are now thinking about the people that we are combining, and what if the emergency happened to them? What if one of the people get unfortunately heart attack or whatever? What they are supposed to do? Like the small thing that we don't care about, they concerned about.
Yeah.
What happened if, yeah, go ahead, Sean.
And there is stories for like people they are living at Jaber neighborhood. Also, it's like in the restricted area. They are old people and they have like they need medicine for diabetes, for the like for their in general medicine, and they cannot go to get their medicine because they are old, and usually their relatives they are taking care of them. So usually they bring them the medicine. So what happened? Even if they are allowed for people to go from like the checkpoints in specific time, they didn't allow for them to pass to see their relatives or these two old people, and like they wait almost for 5 days to get their medicine because the Israeli soldier, his mood, he wasn't fine, so he didn't allow for the man to pass through the checkpoint.
In addition to that, there is two things. I don't know, we are kind of out of time, but I want to highlight. So the first thing is, even the Palestinian in the West Bank, despite that we feel that we are kind of powerless, that we cannot like do a lot of things in order to support our people in Gaza and support ourselves from attacks from settlers and soldiers, we're still doing demonstrations. Just today, there was a demonstration organized and led by students to ceasefire and to stop ethnic cleansing of the people, the Palestinians in Gaza. Every Friday, after the prayer hour for Muslims, they go out from the mosque and protesting against what's going on. Sometimes it's happening in the evening, like without like a special date, such as a Friday or whatever. They will, like, for example, a group of people, they will be organizing and they go, despite all of what's going on. And everyone who's going in the demonstration, they have kind of a fear of being recognized, because if they were recognized, they will be arrested. And that's what we've seen in the past month. We have saw maybe hundreds of detention and arrest, and there is no jail, and we call it administrative detention. So if you are politically active, or if you post something, as Shahad said, on social media, or you are active on the ground or whatever, they will arrest you. And last thing that I want to say about the olive harvest, as you know, olive trees and olive, it's very symbolic thing for us, and it's very important to us. And just before a couple of days ago, the winter came, which is, it's something farmers know. Every olive harvest season, we wait until the first rain came so we can start picking the olives. And before a couple of days ago, the rain was started, and yet the people in the H2 area in South Hebron Hills, especially the H2 area, they are not allowed to picking the olives. And if they will be in a different area.
Like, just a small thing about South Hebron Hills. 2 days ago, the families gathered in South Hebron Hills and they decide to go to pick their olives. So the settlers, they came and they attacked them, and they stole some of the olives, and they asked them to go to their homes. And after that, the soldier, they came and tell the families to go from the area. and don't leave your home during these times.
Yes, and at the beginning of the war, one of the Israeli settlers, they start putting flags on a Palestinian houses in the H2 area, but after a couple of days and after we reported and some organization they reported, it was removed. I don't know if by settlers or by Palestinians, but despite all of this, what's going on, settlers and the supporters of settlers, they still trying to kick out people from Masafer Yatta. They are trying to colonize more houses and land. Yes. Do you have any other updates, Shahid, before we move to Q&A question?
No, feel free to write your question or to tell us your question. We are happy to answer.
We have one question in the chat from Alan, who is asking, what should I write on a sign to take out to the street? There have been massive protests in many cities and places over. So that's an interesting question for us participating in protest. What should I write?
There is one quote I made it when I was writing the last article that I wrote it, and it says, to exist, we must resist. So resistance, it's part of us to exist and to fight for our liberation. Shahid, do you have some slogans?
There is a lot of slogans or things that like you can write it. Like right now, you can say ceasefire, stop the genocides, and you can like there is something in our like door in our office. It's wrote that no one is free while the other is oppressed, which is for it's really good. If you want to write this or the other things.
Yes, Ian, and then I will go to other question, please, Ian. Go ahead.
Thank you. As you know, we were with you earlier this year and miss you very much and are very impressed by your courage. We are giving talks to people about what we have seen in the West Bank when we were with you, and also doing talks on Zoom. And these talks include stories of people like yourselves, some of the shopkeepers and people in human rights defenders. Would it be dangerous for us to continue using their names and their photographs in those presentations on Zoom and others? Or would it be safe enough for us to continue to do that?
Yes, feel free to use our name. Yes, and thanks for all of the work that you are doing. Yeah. Can you yes.
Could you share a bit more about the settler violence, please? This is another question. So I can share, Ahmed, if you want. So the settlers' violence increased in general, and since 7 October, it's more and more, especially in areas near the settlements. For example, in Masafer Yatta, once they come to the a tent for the woman, she lives with her daughter, and they burn her tent and they steal her sheep. So, and she forced to leave from the tent. And since this day, she left the area. And another stories that they are like in the second day of the war, like a group of settlers, they came to the Tuba village, which is also a part of South Hebron Hills, and they shoot a man, and they didn't allow for the ambulance to go to see the man and to let him go to the hospital. And this is some cases for the attacking and the violence for the settlers in the West Bank. And also, as you see in Nablus, there is like more than 5 people. They are killed by the settlers, not by the soldier. And one of them, he's old and he was picking his olive last week.
In addition to this, there is a question. I see news from different parts of the West Bank on Al Jazeera every day, but not any from Hebron. Any journalists are being allowed there? Yes, they are allowed. Before, at the beginning of the war, we heard that 2 journalists, they got beaten and their cameras was broken. And another one journalist he got administrative detention and he got 6 months, which you don't know. It might be renewable for another 6 months, or you don't know. So why they are not covering a lot of Hebron, I don't know. There is some demonstration, but all of what's going on, the attacks from soldiers, it's mainly on the north, Nablus and Jenin. There is also a question when are you able to do a daily accompaniment of school children or other vulnerable people? That's good, because we didn't cover what's going on the school run and that's the students. So mainly students in the H2 area, they're doing online Zoom. And the other students in the H1, it depends on the area that they are. They're doing some face-to-face classes. So no, unfortunately, we don't do accompaniments, and we don't do. Unfortunately, we are not all of the time in the old city, because it's kind of high risk situation for us, and we might be killed by cold blood. So mostly our work, it will be online. We got our stuff, like we got some computers, all of the cameras, all of the essential work that we need, and we put it in our homes. We distribute it just in case, in order to function online. In addition, we do some kind of visits between like day and another to the shopkeepers and etc. in order to get updates and just being there with them. There is another one, and I will let Shahid move to another question. There is a statement saying from the river to the sea seems to be a trigger for many people. Should we stop using the slogan? No, because everyone can use it. Like what we're referring from the river to the sea is liberation for Palestinians, whatever we are, whether in Haifa or Jaffa or in Gaza or in the West Bank. We should be free. Right of return, it's essential. And it's part of solution. So yes, it's kind of what Shahid, do you want to read another question?
How is the team keeping safe? Are you working from home? What about all the posts you bought up on Facebook and Instagram. Yes, we are like most of the time, as Ahmed said, we work from home, and we are covering some demonstration and like some stands for the prisoners, for the like stand for Gaza, and for the post, and like we share it in our Facebook and Instagram. Even if we are like away from people, we call them in daily basis to check on them, to be with them, to hear their stories and to share it. And this is part of our work, and this is like the things that we can do to share their stories, to let other people know about what's going on in the community.
There is another question, important question. It says, is there any debate in the West Bank about the role of Hamas and the 17th of October? And are there any contacts with Israeli peace and justice-oriented people? So basically, everyone condemning killing civilians, condemning the violence of what's going on, and including us. So the debate about condemning or like not like either like be with killing the civilians or not, of course not. Like everyone stand and it clear every civilian should be safe and not be harmed. This is the first thing. Second is, I think also maybe we should question the Hebron media, where I'm trying to follow up all of the Hebron media, and I never saw kind of a debate about condemning the Israeli soldiers of killing thousands of children, condemning killing like thousands of destroying thousands of buildings. I didn't see any kind of debates about like why they are about stopping the electricity and food and water and fossil fuel to the people in Gaza, to the civilians. So the question is, and the most important thing is, people now is dying. So it's not about what's happened before. It's very important. But now it's people in every second. They might be now people and children are being killed and murdered. Is there any contacts?
Okay, continue.
And there are any contacts with the Israeli peace and justice oriented people? Our way of peace building is to be stand with the vulnerable people, to accompanying Palestinians while they are resisting and keeping their shops and their land still with them and not being taken by settlers. So sometimes we send footage that we saw or we took to Beit Salem, very prestigious news. But other than this, no. Ashah, do you want to add something?
No, thank you, Ahmed. There is a question that what is the communications situation in Hebron? I know in Gaza there is expressing communication blackout. Is the same ongoing in Hebron? No, it's not the same. We have like normal internet, normal like communication. We can use it. Sometimes there is some cutting, not cutting, like semi-cutting for the internet only, not in Gaza, not like Gaza. How can we be supportive to you both and the team? Like to keep updated in our social media platform, to share the things that we posting for the people stories, because it's like our goal to let people know about people stories and what they are facing in daily basis, and like call for ceasefire. Ahmed, do you want to add something?
Yes, two things. First thing, I'm very, very amazed by the Jewish people that they are working in the United States, especially the slogan, it's called Not in Our Name, which is make a clear statement that there is very big difference between Zionism and Judaism, between the Jewish as a religion and between Zionism as a political movement. Also, I want just to follow up, I might be lost. Ian, he asked some questions, but I might be lost. So is there some questions that I didn't answer?
Wait, Christina has her hand raised, so maybe we can take that question. And since the question was about supporting the team and the work, maybe we can just go to the resource page and call to action that we have prepared after that.
Yes.
And I think
yes,
Ian answered, yeah, it was answered in the chat.
Yes, Christina, go ahead.
So, hello everybody. I hope that you are all okay under this difficult time for you. I'd like, it's not a question, like more like an update or a statement of what is happening in this side of the world about Palestine. First of all, I mean, you have been already aware that there are several demonstrations around the world on this, which is something very, very powerful. In Greece, I mean, today it was like a huge demonstration in front of the parliament, like full of people that they marched also to the Israeli embassy. And I somehow want to state like the general feeling that I received also from several directions, not only from Greece, but the general media, because also Greece had been in alliance with Israel. I mean, the Greek government had been in alliance with Israel, the Greek people not so much. So I think there is a huge attempt that I think that all of us, we can, let's say, struggle against it to start the discussion of the war on the 7th of October. There is a clear message that everything in Palestine started in the 7th of October among two powers that they are also equal powers. Basically, that there is no occupation, there is nothing. All the history from Nakba until now, there is a huge attempt to be erased. So I think the demonstrations themselves and the people themselves, they're trying also to block this narrative. They're trying also to strengthen the voice that things they haven't started in the 7th of October. And I think we are winning step by step in this. Step by step. It started like from full media occupation somehow that the narrative of terrorism. And now people start to remember and get aware of the very long history of oppression, of occupation that the Palestinian people had suffered. And this is something that we can all take part in this. So that's it for me. Keep up, and we are with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think we're kind of out of time of that timeline, and if like there is more time, I can like speak more, because there is a lot of things going on and there is a lot of debriefing, I think, as people in Palestine and maybe as protesters in every country around the world, we need to discuss and think about. But Christina, she made a really good point, which is it's not just about what's happened on 7th of October, it's about what's happening from Nakba 1948 until now. Yes. So Shahd, do you want to add something? I think we need to move it to Amy.
Yes. I don't want to add something because like there is a lot of things. It's still going here in West Bank and in Gaza. And as Ahmed said, if we start talking, we will not stop. So we can like give the mic for Amy.
Yeah, and one more thing. I want to ask everyone to start using the terminology of occupation, not a conflict, because sometimes it's kind of trigger me and trigger a lot of Palestinians to see books, articles saying the conflict, the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, and it's never been a conflict. It's kind of occupation. And if we want to liberate the Palestinians, we should start using the right terminology, which describe the right situation. Saying conflict, it will not describe the right of what's the right situation of what's going on.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Shad and Ahmed, for sharing. I really appreciate the update. I'm Amy Yoder McLaughlin, coming to you from outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Lenape land on Turtle Island. I know a lot of us are wondering, those of us who love and support the Palestine team, we're wondering, what can we do? Besides the obvious donating to CPT at cpt.org, the other thing we're going to ask you to do this afternoon is to reach out to your elected officials. So I'm going to add in the chat ways that you can do that. And we want to do that together right now. So I don't know about you, but I don't love doing these things. It's uncomfortable, but knowing that I can do this with all of you at the same time makes it a little bit easier for me. So I want to invite you to check out the link that I shared. You'll have a chance there to see who your elected officials are and how you can contact them. And we're going to spend the next 10 minutes together doing that, obviously muted. But once you've reached out to your elected officials, just add it in the chat so we know who you've reached out to, and we can encourage each other to do that together. So let's go ahead and do that now.
I'm exhausted. Last night I couldn't sleep, but when I did, I could hear bombs in my dreams. Nightmare situation. How could they be so evil, making martyrs out of children and innocent people? We expect the bombs, not knowing where next. Huddle in the corner of my room, trying to protect my little brother as the building shakes like it's possessed. But nothing stronger than the will of the oppressed. I bomb back with my lyrics and rhymes, living the times trying to break the Palestinian minds. What's hiding in the clouds hanging over my head? My dad risks his life outside to buy bread. The fourth war in my 12th year. At this stage I'm numb, though I haven't feel scared. There's nothing I can do in this case to stay safe. I'm brave, even though this house could be in my grave. I want freedom for the population. 2 million prisoners living in this location, shouting at the wall, but nothing is ever changing. That's life under an occupation. I want freedom for the population. 2 million prisoners living in this location, shouting at the wall, but nothing is ever changing. That's life under an occupation. Mothers mourn, frightened with grief. White sheets covered by his dad lie on the streets. Buildings turn to ash, but my mind is made of steel. So it doesn't take much for me to heal. Won't lose the will to live or lose our minds. My auntie lost her home, so she lost her life, but she is still alive, but traumatized by the bombs that flew in and dropped that night. My sister couldn't sleep, tried to stop her cries. I said it was fireworks, I was telling her lies. Where's the compassion? This is heartless. It's like they want us all living in darkness, cutting off water and electricity for hours. They're knocking towers, but that's not knocking the power that I have in my pen. When I'm writing, I'm unstoppable. The microphone is the only escape possible, cause that's the way that I can speak my mind. I wonder, how does the fighter pilot sleep at night, knowing he can turn the city upside down all of a sudden, slaughtering families with the push of a button. I want freedom for the population. 2 million prisoners living in dislocation, shouting at the wall, but nothing is ever changing. That's life under an occupation. I want freedom for the population. 2 million prisoners living in dislocation, shouting at the wall, but nothing is ever changing. That's life under an occupation.
وين بديكي أنا نصكم بعرف إنه البيت قديم وشايف عيونك حزينة، بس أنا شو بقدر أعمل قدام الوحش العظيم عم بنهش بطن المدينة. وين بديكي أنا نصكم بعرف إنه البيت قديم وشايف عيونك حزينة، بس أنا شو بقدر أعمل قدام الوحش العظيم عم بنهش بطن المدينة. مين قال إنه الشوارع رح تضل نفس الاشي؟ مين قال إنه المدينة بعدها بتنقطع ماشي؟ مين قال إنه الحارات بعدها لعبتنا البريئة؟ مين سرق منا الطبيعة وقالنا حافظوا على البيئة؟ مين حط السوق بمول؟ مين طلعنا من البيوت؟ مين قسمها ومين أجرنا استوديو أصغر من تابوت؟ مين أجا من تل أبيب قصدي مين أجا من بولندا؟ مين عمر براج أزاز وإحنا هدلنا البراندا؟ صار بيعلم جدر على أساس وجبة جورميه؟ ليه صحن الحمص ب30 وما حداش سائل ليه؟ وين الدكاكين البسيطة؟ ليش كل شي لازمه كونسبت؟ ليش ضروري إنه الفواكه تضل كل السنين تنبت؟ مين محانا من القصة؟ من جدد سوق العتق؟ مين دخن البترول ونفخ غيوم القلق؟ مين حفر الجبل؟ مين هد وادي الصليب؟ مين عسكر البحر وبدور الناس سكن غريب؟ بدهن أترك الحارة ويفتحوا مطرح بيتي بار، يدهنوا كل الشارع أشقر يخفوا ألوان السمار، مخبز عم تحول جاليري قال أجواء أوثنتيك ونحطك راس المال براسه، فيش ولا حدا بيحميك من عربات عالناس هجم كلاب الأمن، مين هدد الأبو دبر وظيفي للإبن، مين دفع حق الحنين، مين شرع منا الأمان، مين فركش الأمل، مين سرق عمر المكان. بعرف إنه البيت قديم وشايف عيونك حزينة، بس أنا شو بقدر أعمل قدام الوحش العظيم عم بنهش بطن المدينة.
As you prepare your breakfast, think of others. Do not forget to feed the pigeons. As you wage your wars, think of others. Do not forget those who fight for peace. As you pay your water bill, think of others, those who are nursed by clouds. As you return home to your home, think of others. Do not forget the people of the camps. As you sleep and count the stars, think of others, those who have nowhere to sleep. As you liberate yourself with metaphors, think of others, those who have lost their right to speak. As you think of others far away, think of yourself and say, if only I were a candle in the night.
This is for Palestine and Quds, the capital Jerusalem. Unarmed people marching to the wall and they're shooting them. Suppression is a question, resistance is the answer. Long live Palestine, long live Gaza. Palestine and Quds, the capital Jerusalem. Unarmed people marching to the wall and they're shooting them. Suppression is a question, resistance is the answer. Long live Palestine, long live Gaza.
All you see is war every time you turn your head at night. Bloodshed on the floor, mother cries, who cries for her this night? truth between these walls. See the lies between the lines they hide. Where's the bullets coming from? From the tyrants dressed in our disguise.
I'm a rider till the end, even if I got to push back for all my friends. Cause you know that I'm a fighter, let me see a lighter. And we not gonna stop the Palestine is free. But still you know that I'm a rider till the end, even if I got to push back for all my friends. Cause you know that I'm a fighter, let me see a lighter. And we not gonna stop the Palestine is free.
Taught to not love, taught to be blind, taught to not care. Tell me what's real, borderlines, military despair. How to exist if there's no rights to be human in fear? And if you take away your home, where's the heart supposed to live? Taught to not love, taught to be blind, taught to not care. Tell me what's real, borderlines, military despair. How to exist if there's no rights to be human in fear? And if you take away your home, where's the heart supposed to live?
Ibrahim Abu Thureya could resist without a wheelchair. 10-year challenge, tell Regev we are still here. And tell that killer Netanyahu he should feel fear. The old live through us and guarantee the children will care. Criminal, not invincible and you know it. Samadoun still sitting in their stoic. May not feel us with you when you listen to our poems. You inspire humanity, your resistance is heroic. Regardless of talk, here's time we answer the call. Through your strength of spirit.
No, it's hairbrushing.
Thank you to everyone who reached out to your representatives. I'm so encouraged to see everything in the chat. And thank you for doing that, not just for our friends at CPT Palestine who are working so hard, but for all Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. We're almost at the end of this hour. Keep taking action as you can and where you are. It matters, and it's important to voice our dissent and in this current context. I want to ask our team representatives, Shahad and Ahmad, if you have a last word you want to share with our group before we close this call.
For me, I would like to add something for like taking action. I think it's part of taking action. It's participate in like BDS campaigns because it's really important. And if you see that you are like an individual, you cannot make a difference. No, like you can make difference. If you cannot like boycott the whole companies, but try to boycott the like biggest companies that support the Israeli armies, and like keep continuing. If you already start boycott or start following the BDS campaigns, keep going in this. And thank you all for all the action that you already wrote it in the chat. We are really appreciate that.
Yes, I want to add two things. First is Palestinians are like very, 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 very hopeful. So despite all of those stuff that what's going on, despite all of the thing, we still have a hope. We still have a hope of you and of other people to wake up and stop those genocide. We still have a hope of being able to be treated as a human being, to be treated as equally to others. And we never stop hope. and that's coming from a Palestinian. Second thing, which is connecting to hope, soon we'll be announcing CPT Palestine have directed and produced a film called Light, which is also about hope, and hopefully we'll be stream it soon. So that's kind of a small update, and that's also a draw smile on my face every time when I remember about this film. Despite all of the challenges, the film, it will make a smile, and we hope soon between January and February we'll stream it, and we will discuss it together, watch it and discuss it together. So yeah, so we'll keep in hope in you, and we'll keep hope in Allah and God, as well as for liberation. Yes, and I will leave the mic to Hannah.
Hannah, did you want to add anything? I'm just.
I mean Muriel. Sorry.
Okay. I'm just going to highlight what has been posted in the chat. Hannah actually provided the links to the song she played, and we can also forward that with the recording of the conversation for everyone to have access to those songs. But the links are in the chat if you want to grab them before we close the call. Also, an announcement that our Advent calendar, which maybe some of you have been viewing in the past few years. So this year, we decided to focus the Advent calendars on Palestine, and especially art in Palestine, and art as a form of resistance. So that we definitely encourage you to sign up for the calendar when it comes out, and follows each day some of the stories in Palestine and Palestinian artists. So that's one thing. Delegations, as soon as they resume, you're of course very welcome to sign up for a delegation and go visit our team, the people you just heard, and go see them in person and go there. We don't know when that's going to be possible, but yeah, that's definitely one direct way to support the team and the work and Palestinian people there. And the email for our general email is open. I put it a few times in the chat. I can put it again. Use the email for any questions that you have, any follow-up, and also sharing actions as you take action where you are in your context. It's always encouraging, and yeah, encouraging to hear about actions that are taken by everyone. So if you feel like sharing that, just let us know as well. And we will share the recording and other information after this call. So thank you so much for joining, for taking action, and for supporting the team, and for supporting CPT. We're very proud of our team still on the ground there, and doing the work as they can do it. So thank you so much for everything, and blessing on everyone's work and actions as we move forward.